David was a man desperate for change. His life, full of mundane routines and failed ambitions, had become unbearable. He needed a way out, something more than what life had to offer. Late one night, while browsing the internet for answers to his existential crisis, David came across a strange forum with a title that caught his eye: "The Deal That Changes Everything." The forum's only post was a simple message: want your life to change? All you have to do is ask, but be careful what you wish for. Intrigued, David read on. The message was cryptic, but it promised that anyone who made a deal with the forum's mysterious entity would receive anything they desired: wealth, power, fame, or even immortality. All they had to do was agree to the terms. The post ended with a set of instructions: meet me at the old warehouse on Rosewood Street at midnight. Come alone. Leave everything behind except your desire. David hesitated. Was this some kind of scam? Was it a joke? But in the end, his curiosity won out. He was desperate enough to believe anything that promised an escape from his miserable existence. At midnight, he stood outside the warehouse. The building was decaying, its windows shattered, the air thick with the stench of rot. As he entered, the lights flickered on, revealing a figure cloaked in shadow, sitting at a dusty wooden table. The figure wore a black hood, and its face was hidden in the darkness. It seemed to emanate an aura of power and malice. "You've come," the voice echoed, gravelly and ancient. "You know what I offer?" David nodded. His heart pounded, but he couldn't back out now. "Yes. I want everything. I want my life to matter. I want to be successful. I want power. I want it all." The figure leaned forward, its voice lowering to a whisper. "Then all you need to do is sign this contract." The figure slid a piece of parchment across the table, along with an old-fashioned quill. The contract was written in fine script, and the ink looked blacker than anything David had ever seen. The words were simple, but unsettling. "By signing this, you agree to forfeit your soul. You will receive everything you desire. But remember, you cannot escape the consequences. They will follow you forever." David's mind raced. "Forfeit my soul?" he asked. "What does that mean?" The figure's unseen gaze seemed to pierce through him. "It means you give up everything that makes you human. In return, your desires will be fulfilled beyond your imagination, but you will pay a price. That is the nature of all deals." David's mind swirled. Was he really willing to risk it all for wealth and power? His hand trembled as he took the quill, dipping it into the ink. With a shaky breath, he signed his name. The moment he did, the room seemed to shift. The air grew colder, and the walls began to crack. The figure's form seemed to grow taller, more imposing, as though it had been waiting for this moment. It stood, its dark cloak billowing, and David felt a sudden rush of warmth flooding his veins. The power he had longed for was now coursing through him. He felt invincible. "Now go," the figure said, its voice a low growl. "You have what you wanted." David didn't wait. He rushed out of the warehouse, feeling as though the world had suddenly opened up to him. He had made the right choice. The next day, everything changed. David woke up in a mansion, his bank account overflowing with money. He was showered with admiration from strangers and offered opportunities that most could only dream of. He had wealth, influence, and power, but the price of his success soon became clear. At first, it was subtle. a shadow in the corner of his vision, a whisper in the night. But as time went on, it grew stronger, more insistent. He began to notice things that shouldn't be there. Dark shapes lurking in his house, cold spots that wouldn't go away, and whispers that sounded like his own name. But they were wrong, distorted, malicious. He tried to ignore it. After all, he had everything he wanted: fame, money, women. But as the days passed, the horrors grew. One night, while at a lavish party in his honor, David felt a sharp pain in his chest. He doubled over, clutching his heart, but no one seemed to notice. The music played on, the laughter echoed, but his body was going cold. When he looked down, his hand was blackening, as though the life was draining out of him. Panicked, David stumbled into the bathroom, staring at his reflection in the mirror. His face was pale, his eyes hollow. His very skin seemed to be decaying, his body withering away. The figure's warning echoed in his mind. You cannot escape the consequences. They will follow you forever. David realized the true cost of his desires. His soul had been claimed, and in return, he was cursed to live in a decaying body, a shadow of his former self. No matter how much he tried to fight it, the decay only worsened. He couldn't escape it. Days turned into weeks. The decay spread further, and David became a mere husk, trapped in his mansion, unable to leave. His wealth, his power, and his fame meant nothing. He had no escape. He had become a prisoner of his own desires. And all the while, the figure watched from the shadows, its grin widening with every passing moment. David's story became a warning to those who sought power at any cost, a tale of a man who thought he could cheat the system. But in the end, the devil always collects.